All right, guys, how's it going? Straight from the gym into live stream. So this is gonna be an after gym lesson. Hope you're all training and trading. And on this live stream, I'm going to be alone for a while. And what I'm going to do is I want to show you a little bit of updates on QuantWheel. I'm going to share my screen so everybody who is new, you can watch and see how to use QuantWheel and how the experts do it. I'm not an expert in trading, but I am an expert in QuantWheel. So I'm going to share my screen now and show a couple of things that might be interesting to you. All right, what you see right now is the dashboard. When you log in, you're going to see a couple of buttons on the left sidebar. You're going to have top banner, and then you're going to have the main screen here and the right sidebar. There are a couple of new things, so maybe this is the first time you see this if you have not been using QuantWheel so far. So I'm going to start from scratch. First thing you need to do when you log in and when you start using QuantWheel is to connect your broker. Why? Because otherwise the whole thing is going to be empty for you, the whole screen. When you connect your broker, QuantWheel gets the read-only access to see which positions you're holding and to be able to calculate the break-even price, your profit and loss, and much more. So once you do that, the QuantWheel will log in, your broker will communicate the data with QuantWheel, and then you're going to be able to choose your wheel strategy. Now, if you're an options trader and you're not a seller, this might not be interesting to you. If you're an option seller and option trader in general, I'm going to cover whole QuantWheel, so for both buyers and sellers. So first thing, after you connect your broker, that's the first step. Second step is to choose your wheel strategy. Now, these are predefined, 12% per year, 20%, and 40% per year. Depends on your strategy. You can start with one of those just to get things faster, get things rolling faster. And based on your strategy and desired income and risk, you are going to see different deals, different roles for your current positions, different covered calls for your different positions, for your current positions, and the alerts. You can also limit collateral per trade so that you don't have bigger than, for example, 10K per contract in collateral and so on. Once you select that, I'm going to go with custom. It's already selected. I'm going to see my first screen. First screen is the wheel, right? And you're going to be able to see your current wheels. I don't have any, but I have one position of call right here, and I can choose to cover the call earlier. So this one is expiring in 7 days. It's one contract. You can see that it's 54% annualized, and it's 219 premium if I close it right now. So what I can do is I can snooze it for later, or I can just decide to use it and roll. Now, if I don't want to do that, right now I rolled it, I can choose to click the cover call button and I will see a screen with covered calls. For example, if I choose to... Hey, Ivan.
Yes, hey.
If I heard something, so I stopped. Anyways, if I choose to go through the wheel and find new positions, first thing is find deals. So this means cash secured puts or covered calls. I'm going to go with cash secured puts. I'm going to go with popular stocks. And now I can see different tickers. If I want to, for example, trade just Google, Google is right now a pretty good one. And I can select it. If I want to, I can choose different filters. If you already selected, as I mentioned in the beginning of this live stream, if you chose one of those, you can now change this in the filters. For example, I want minimum yearly yield of 12%. So I'm going to go 12 here. This is yield per trade. I'm going to apply it. and I don't want anything more than 52 days. I'm going to decrease this to 45. And now I see 65 opportunities for Google. What I do and what I like to do is I look at delta and the difference between strike and stock price. So I like to filter the biggest difference so that the delta is low as possible. And then I look at days till expiry. For example, you might want to follow 1% per month. This is perfect. 12% per year, 1.3% in this trade, and you can sell cash secured put on this one. If you click on it, what is new right now, maybe you have not seen it if you're not a user still. On the right side, you're going to see the risk analysis and anything that was under each trade before. And then you can analyze things and see it yourself. You can see the GEX here and the support and resistance. And let's say you want to take that trade. That's fine. You go to your broker and you look for strike 310 for expiry on July 31st. And the bid and ask should be between 4 and 460. The data is pretty fresh, so it should be pretty accurate. Now, if you made this trade and something was messed up, next thing you can do is you can roll it. You go to the next step of the wheel and you roll it. You go with Google. And now you're going to select the expiry date. Let's say it's expiring tomorrow and it's just around, your strike price is just around the stock price. And you're afraid you're going to have to get assigned. So what you can do is you select exact option and you're going to see all the other opportunities to roll. Make sure you select bid and ask or mid. If you select bid and ask, you're going to get a pretty accurate situation. And now you can sort them by days extended. So if you wait another, let's say, 30 days, you're going to earn 836 in additional premium. You're going to release 250 in equity. And you're just going to have to wait another 30 days if you don't want to get assigned. So this is probably the only place online where you can find, where you can use the avoid assignment tool. Now, when you rolled it, you finally decide you want to get assigned because Google was dropping, the price was dropping, you collected enough premium, you're happy with the price, you get assigned on purpose. Now you can cover calls. Now you can find Google here and you can cover calls on your existing shares. For example, if that's Apple, you can do the same thing all over again. You select the option filters and everything as you did in finding deals. You find the biggest difference between stock and strike price, and then you look for delta and yearly income. That's what I do, at least. And I try to never have to get assigned if I like the shares. And I look at, let's say, 12% per year. And then you can look at your results. Finally, you see the results are here. You can see how much money you're missing on based on the cash that's sitting in your account, based on the calls on the stocks that you didn't cover. And that's how the whole wheel works. Before I continue, I wanted to say hi to Ivan. He just joined us midstream. Hey, Ivan.
Hey everyone, very exciting updates, and it looks nice to see you being all caught up.
Nice. I'm just going to go over the other features. If you are a frequent visitor of our dashboard, you want to catch up with the live streams, you're going to get this banner at top. You can just close it. If you want to join us, and you can watch the replays or catch up with us in Discord. Next thing, what you can do is go to journal. And in the journal, you're going to see your positions, some different and nice information about your trades, about the chains. And as you can see, for example, with NVIDIA, you see in what is your break-even price. This line here is break-even, and the break-even as you trade more and more will drop. So if you're a frequent user, if you're using QuantWheel for a year now, you can see that most of your trades, if you know what you're doing, now have a pretty low break even price, and you can see the break even here. For example, I'm going to pick a really good one. For example, this price here, Microsoft, the stock is 373, and the price for you, if you're rolling it for a while, if you're willing it for a while, is 286. And every time you trade Microsoft, as you continue, as you collect the premium, this price will drop more and more. You're going to risk it. You're going to be able to risk it more and more as the time goes by. This is what we show you and much more. So if you're going to use QuantWheel, you'll be able to choose this, use this feature, whether you're a day trader or a wheeler. Now for day traders, I'm going to leave this to Ivan to show you together with some updates. But before I leave it for Ivan, I'm just going to show you the copy trading feature, which is going to be the highlight, I think, in the near future. There are tons of great traders here. There's over $200 million in connected portfolios from different traders here. And a lot of them are going to come to enable copy trading from their account in the near future. And we have QuantWheel Intelligence, which knows your portfolio better than you do. If you're not sure what to do next, it's always a good idea to ask for the confirmation, and it will tell you the information that you wouldn't be able to calculate. So that is a quick demo for now. As I said, first step, connect your broker. Second step, choose your wheel strategy, or find the deals in your wheel feature. Do all the actions so that all your cash is working for you and all your stocks are working for you. And third, track your results in break even and just repeat. It's pretty easy, and I'm leaving it to Ivan now to show you how to basically buy options from QuantWheel. How to trade if you're buying options, which features we enable you.
Yeah, to just give a summary of what's going on in the market. First, we know that tomorrow is a huge day with Micron MU having earnings. And what I usually do is I start with just QuantWheel Intelligence that has all the information that GEX has, and it can understand it and give you interpretation. So I just tell him to analyze Micron GEX structure for this week, including the Vana and Charm, and it actually is recommending or like showing that there could be a play of just buying calls here and explaining you why you should not be selling covered calls, for example. This is a very interesting one because of the Vana and Charm. Seems like we should be drifting higher. Obviously, tomorrow's earnings day, so this could all change, but a very interesting play on Micron. I do similar things with, let's say, Baba, that is on a huge support level of around $100. So it can take a look at all the GEX structures, Vana and Charm. As you can see, the 100, 102 level are very strong. Yeah, it can just give you ideas on what to trade. So it's saying $100 put as a CSP. That's exactly what I would do, for example, looking at the chart. In the GEX level, there's obviously everything similar here. If you want to see more details for, let's say, Baba that we talked about, clearly it's going to show you we are in negative gamma, but a huge put wall around 100. Similarly with Vana and Charm, but it's for me it's easier to just understand it looking at the chart, the GEX, and just using QuantWheel Intelligence. Next, we do have a heat map as well. Let's take a look at Baba on the heat map. That's going to show us a bit more information and the positioning in the next few weeks. Yes, great. So as you can see, like we are at the bottom of the heat map. So most of the positioning is happening right around this level 102, 100. There's huge positioning and huge positions weeks in advance up to September on the 100 level, and just climbing up with a huge call position around 115. So to me, this looks like slightly bullish. Just be careful, we are in negative gamma, so if 100 level breaks, we could be heading lower. So this is how I read the dealer positioning. It's very critical to understand that we are in negative gamma, for example, and then that gives you the reads of how to trade this setup. Um, Also on the SPY level and zero-DTE, I mostly just do flow trading. I take a look at the inflows, see which strike prices are getting the uh, most cash deployed into them, and basically we see that 736 is the highest one for today. Uh, that would kind of tell me that we might be heading towards that level as the day goes on. And it looks to me that we might be able to hold it. Why? Well, let me explain to you this flows. As you can see, both on the SPX and SPY, we had a huge inflow and huge buying pressure of calls in the morning, and we slowly drifted away, and people have been taking profits from that call buying. Um, it's hard to see this in this kind of 1 minute view. So sometimes I just take a look at aggregated 15-minute view to see where is the net flow going towards. So here we had a spike up, but since this morning spike, it's been trending lower. And it can serve as a pendulum as well. So if you see we overextended a bit over this trend line, then we went a bit below it, even though the flows did not drop that much, so it kind of swung back up. So here, yeah, I would expect slight kind of moving back to this kind of flow line. And as you can see, right as we've been talking, we saw one red candle, and you could have made a profit, right, just by looking at this flows already. Um, crucial thing here is obviously put wall, and clearly here you can see, look at this, the put wall on SPY, right exactly where we just said we could be seeing some downturn. So if you combine the flow and the put wall, you could be having some very nice edge on the zero-DTE. Obviously, you should prepare with your key levels the day before. From the days before, I'll just switch my to my tabs in TradingView and take a look at SPY, for example. I usually go do 15 minutes and mark my key levels on there, so I can see obviously this level was a put wall uh, and a previous resistance. So yeah, this setup, if I had to guess, I would say we are going slightly lower just because 736 is most likely the highest pain point and a very strong resistance on the 737 level. This is how I trade options with QuantWheel and the charts in the
Even
direction plays. Yeah, go ahead, Luca.
I think what would be cool is I'm listening to you. I don't have enough knowledge to do what you're doing, but it would be cool if we had a recording listened by AI real time as you speak, and it shoots signals to this Discord group just so that if you are right, it shows, hey, Ivan is talking about this. Every live stream, we have a section like that, and AI is shooting the predictions. Because I think you're there's as Ivan said, guys, you're not looking for 100% here. It's impossible to know 100%. You're looking for an edge, and what Ivan is showing you is why wouldn't you use any knowledge, any information in your advantage if you can. And this is something that is not accessible to everyone in the options flow, and you're going to have it soon.
Exactly. Right. I would like to go through some of the news and updates and the macro, some stocks as well, if you'd like, Luca. Is that fine? Um, yeah, I'll first go to XLE that has basically a lot of the oil plays, and it's a proxy to oil. So if oil goes up, XLE will most likely go up. Uh, I want to explain why this is still going up, but not that much as one might expect, given that the war has continued. So, look, zooming back out a little bit here, probably going to the daily, we saw a huge drop in the XLE, breaking the trend line, and we started selling cash secure puts, I think over the 50, 51 zone. Yesterday, I took profits already because obviously the Trump deal did not stand. But since the war is still going on, there's no peace deal, but there is actually oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz. So that's why we are not seeing a huge spike in the energy as of yet. Um, Another crucial thing that's going on in the world is Kospi. Look at this thing here.
Whoa.
So 10% drop in one day in the Korean market. And that was basically two of the memory stocks that hold currently 50% of the index. So they dropped 12%, so the index fell this much. What's interesting is looking at the like a 5 minute chart. All the previous drops in the past few weeks had some buying pressure, but this night or yesterday Korean time, there was almost no buying pressure. People were just running away. There was some buying by the dip here, but it quickly got shut down and went even more. So this is like a panic level at the moment. I do have
Why do you?
some. Why do I think that this? Oh well, that's a great question. So first of all, look at the uptrend. Just
Yeah,
go to the weekly.
crazy.
Look at this. I mean, this is just a rocket going.
Come on,
So
come
it's
on.
slightly more than a year.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this rocket of going 4 times in almost slightly more than a year, it is unsustainable. That's first of all. Second of all, Korea has a huge trouble and problems um, with their country. Their population is aging a lot, um, and their currency is not that strong. So it's all going to reflect in the equities. They will have to print a lot of money. So people were just running into the equities that can absorb that inflation coming from money printing. And that kind of caused this ramp up. But it's very related to the USD with their currency. Like their currency is weakening a lot, as you can see here. So people go to their equities as inflation hedge. Yeah, that's one thing. Crucial stuff going on in similar markets, USD won. I mean, why am I showing you this? It's actually very important. If this breaks and we kind of crush the all-time highs, Japan is struggling with their economy as well. Their yield on the bonds is going up. Their currency is weakening as well. And if that continues to happen, if we crush this level, the government might need to step in, uh, and we might see the reverse carry trade. That's super important because it directly impacts the SPX. So if we see that breaking, we could see a sharp drop in the S&P 500. So that's why I'm looking at those markets. Um, just to like correlate all this stuff. If you don't know what carry trade with yen was, um, Japan, let's say 10-year yield was super low for decades. Like basically could borrow money almost for free. Look at this. Even negative. rates, and you could just invest them into the S&P 500 that you know it's going to grow over time, and then return your debt in Japanese currency once you've earned money on the S&P 500. That trade is now gone with the crazy spike in the yields, and not there's basically no free borrowing anymore, and it could go even higher, which will then reverse all the investment that's been going on. So basically, people who took loans in this period expecting free money will now have to cover their debt by obviously selling what they've invested in. And they use this money, basically this free money from Japan, to invest into S&P 500. Now that they have to pay their debts, uh, and their interest rate is rising, they'll just have to start selling SPY and their US investments. That's how these things are related. That's why like you need to make sure you know the macro, because it will affect zero DTE. Like you need to. It's not just the gambling of like looking at the chart and trying to find I don't know, a falling wedge or head and shoulders. It's a multi-directional view, and it seems like a lot. That's exactly why we're building QuantWheel that can, first of all, know more than you. Second of all, take a look at the whole market holistically and give you all of the signals together in just cut to the chase. Okay, this was a long rant, Luca. I know you might probably be sleeping already, but that was on my mind for today. I have more, but this was mostly it.
I Yeah, a few comments on my side. I don't know if it will end because Korean market, if it grow, it's an index, so it's crazy for an index to grow for 1.5 years. So that I think is very rare, and probably it will fall even more. And when it comes to what do you think about SpaceX? I think we were right on the last live stream.
Yeah, you might have seen also me posting in Discord that I was just averaging up on the short trade in the first few days. I knew it cannot run up to 500, for example, so it was basically a free short, and it was a good trade. Now we are almost at the IPO levels, as you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
There's more buying pressure. I am interested in the stock, but in the lower ranges around 80, 60 to $80. It could go even lower, but that's why will be deploying cash secure puts. If we break below this kind of level of 145, I think it's gonna go sharp. It could go sharply down if it breaks this. It could go violently, and that's where I'll be aggressively selling covered call. Oh, sorry, cash secure puts. That's my
Yeah,
plan for SpaceX. What about you?
me, I'm not in a hurry. I think it's a at least 12 months road for SpaceX to become a real company that can other Max 7 companies. Until then, I'm just going to see what's going on. My strategy is completely diverting from AI in the next 6 months. Already started. Couple of new things that I realized is looking at which product. First, few things. I think this is huge, but at least first of all, if you add the computers right now, basically what you're going to be able to do, what you can do already, is buy a Mac Studio 512 RAM gigabytes. You can run an average OLED, which is not crazy good, but it's good. In a year or so, and to run an LLM of Opus 4.8, you probably need 2 to 4 from memory. That's at least what my research, and that's going to be there in a year or so. And what AMD, for example, is doing, they're building competitor to Mac Studio, their own computers. I think Microsoft is going to do the same thing. I think Apple is going to get more serious around it. And computers are not, hey, buy your computer where you can work on. It's buy a computer that you're able. So AI capable computers, probably they're going to invest much more into building machines, like real powerful machines, than computer which looks nice on your desktop. You're gonna get a screen and you connect the screen to the box and you're done. Same like Mac Studio, and able to sell you much higher price for something that you were not maybe interested in so far. So I think the big winners for the AI run will not be LLMs, Anthropic, OpenAI. On it, I think they're gonna become commodity, strategic resource in the future. I think what is going to be, who is going to be the winner is Google, Nvidia, Apple, companies that are going to go from now to retail on and offer machines, because Anthropic is getting, and I don't know the source of their revenue, but if getting a lot of them, I don't think they're going to keep up. That's my conclusion, basically. So what am I doing to invest? I'm going to still continue whaling iron and core wave. I think they're not going to go away, but I think a lot of data center are going to go bankrupt. The data center will become a computer, a personal computer on your desk, and not a giant football field. I think personal computers are going to become data centers on their own. What do you think, Ivan?
Interesting. I did not expect that from you, knowing how big of a fan of iron are you.
I think
I don't think I
iron
fully
core wave
agree.
will,
Like, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry. I think, I'm not saying here. I just think that there will be too many data centers. Will be needed, of
Oh,
course.
yes.
I just think for the government and huge companies, you will have iron core wave, you'll have SpaceX, but everybody, like even in Croatia, there are centers, which I think they are missing in Europe, but still they're gonna for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think a lot of people get very, very excited when they hear local, when they talk about AI. If they can control their data, they can control their models. And I think personally also, I would go crazy into buying mode if something like that goes on discount. Like I would just buy anything I could, basically. So when I'm looking at my own behavior, I should also invest in that way. So whatever goes into that PCs, um, yeah, I think we should invest into those companies as well. At least get some exposure. Um, yeah, I was just reading about the AMD computer yesterday. I think it's called Halo. It's a very, very cool thing, but still slightly not that powerful. We'll see. As you mentioned, models are going to get cheaper, better with time goes on. One last thing I wanted to mention is silver is in a very, very interesting spot. The pure silver chart is slightly noisy, partially because of my lines, but it's kind of, it potentially is breaking the support zone. This is kind of a crucial level that we should be watching, the 61 to 62 levels. But then the next support level is obvious, around $55 on the actual silver. So on the SLV that has options and like equities, this translates as well to $50 support zone. but also it looks more cleanly and more like directly something like a falling wedge. So silver is looking interesting to me. Platinum as well in a potential longer term bull flag or falling wedge as well. Similarly has a lot of support levels going on here. So cash secure puts on platinum, very, very interesting. Gold, we have to look at gold as well. This doesn't look very bullish, right? But it's on a downturn, and when people start giving you the bear cases, everyone goes bearish. That's probably the sign that you should probably sell cash secure puts. I think there's two huge support zones in 3900 and 3400. I think this will be very interesting to watch. So I think after this call, I'll take a look at some of the precious metal CSPs and slowly position myself more in there.
In the last few days, RoboStrategy also dropped significantly, but they're releasing their net asset value soon. I think there are a good buy here and will be anywhere between 20 and 30. So for anybody watching the live streams, that's also a good buy. And also because the stock is volatile now, there's not volatile squid, and there are large volumes. You have options now. I think there are monthly options available for RoboStrategy now.
Wow, this is awesome. Okay, this makes it interesting to me now. Thank you, Luca.
Yeah,
So
by the way.
look at this. Look at this bid here at 20. It's like a more than 5%, 7% in 30 days, 24 days.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay.
Good thing is a lot of people don't understand RoboStrategy. Still are willing to pay a lot of money for options. So it's pretty volatile. New stock, it's very hot. For anybody who's looking at this for long term, I think you good premiums here, pretty good money.
That's very cool. I think I'll go ahead and just sell this this cash secure put if this bid is still there.
I don't know if you heard me, but for anybody, because I was muted, for anybody watching RoboStrategy, you're going to get an index of privately owned robotics companies that are pretty risky, but they're well diversified, and there are, on average, going to go up the market. Best companies are in this index, like Figure AI. You can check Figure, some of the best robots out there. So in the next 5 years, you cannot miss with the boss, and that's just in my opinion.
This is a great play. Thank you.
Welcome.
An update also on the SPY, since we went through it and said puts are the play, it dropped almost $1, if not exactly $1. So this could have been a 100% play. Usually, like a rule of thumb is when you find this kind of plays on zero-DTE, you just buy like 0.3 delta option, and that's it. Like, don't overcomplicate it with levels.
Yeah.
Just 0.3 delta, and that's it.
By the way, before you joined live stream, I was showing anyone who's watching quick rundown on how to use QuantWheel. And for anybody who wants to get more information, we're going to polish and finish polishing the all the tools. So you are going to get pretty good guides on how to use each feature, how we use it, what's the best thing to do in each scenario, and so on, especially the ones that you were watching Ivan using now, like GEX, gamma exposure, and and the GEX heat map, options flow, and so on.
Awesome. I don't know if you showed the folks this update, but based on the feedback in Discord, we've realized previously if you clicked on a suggestion, it would bring you into another screen. But now you can get clear explanation. Just click on the role, and you should get the qualified roles right in this screen. So no need to like jump between different screens. You can see them right here. Or like if you want to sell calls, you can just take a look at them right here. So this brings basically your whole wheel setup into this screen, plus obviously find deals in the screener. I think starting QuantWheel, I couldn't have imagined it being this simple, and obviously will improve as well.
So Ivan, do you have anything else to add on stream?
This has been a great one. Thanks, Luke. I'll go ahead and do the bot cash secure put right now.
Yeah, I'll do it as well. I already own a lot of shares, but I don't mind doubling it.
I think we are 100% accurate on these live streams. So we talked about bot cash secure put. We talked about Baba potentially like $100 put credit spread and something. So yeah, let's see.
Yep. All right. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.